Alright, 2B here from Rideadv. Just a quick suspension update before we catch up with Technics and sit around and chew the fat and go through where everything's at now. We've been working with Technics since we got our bike in November 2019, and with all of our bikes, the 7 that we've got, and completing all the testing, we've managed to clock up over over 180,000 Ks now. And we've tested Andriani, Ollins, TFX, Rally Raid, K-Tech, and while Technics have been compiling all that data and coming up with their own pistons and shim setups, etc., to use the OEM forks and the OEM shock. Now look, it's nothing short of amazing what they've gone on to accomplish, and that's not just been us testing them. And like there's 14 of us at any point in time riding bikes getting input. We've had ex-pros, etc., riding the bikes. We've had famous other YouTubers ride the bike, and to quote them, Nick should be commended on what he's done using the OEM product. It's nothing short of amazing. We'll let this interview go on, and we'll see what the people have ridden the bikes have to say. But yeah, it's just a quick overrun now, and we'll get to it later on. Thanks. We're not in the workshop as we have been every other episode. We're out in the middle of the end of day 2 for the Tenere 700 rally. But we've been talking about suspension since the go-get. I've got Joe Morgan here. Joe's had a Tenere since...
November 19.
November 19. You must have been on the first in Queensland.
Yep.
And so you've been following the suspension stuff closely. We've had lots of phone calls and stuff. You've had your suspension done previously.
Yep.
But you've been waiting for something, you've been looking for a bit more. So you rode the prototype stuff we're doing for Technics today.
Yeah, two bikes, one yesterday and one today.
So you rode Billy and my bike, so they've both got the kits in them. Definitely, you were hanging out for Andriani's, you were hanging out to spend $3-4 grand.
Yeah. I was happy to spend big money to get good suspension.
And now?
Blown away. I don't need to. I think I'm going to go to Technic and get his revalve front and rear.
So he's revalved the standard stuff. Now Dave Darcy rode it a couple of weekends ago on the industry ride, and he said Nick should be commended. And I've been blown away by. And as you know, we've spoken in detail, and we've spoken on this about how the European stuff's been initially hard. Nick's managed to, because he only dealt with 210 mil, so Nick's managed to avoid that initially hard. Made that nice and soft. It's supple, but it doesn't fall right through the track. And when it does, and you said you bottomed it once, it wasn't a big bang. It was just nice and gentle.
Yeah, bottomed out, but nicely bottomed out.
Yep.
Using all the strikes. So I rode another bike yesterday with a TFX shock and an Adriani front end.
Yep.
And it was great launching off wheel boys, but everywhere else was too harsh.
Well, we found that with the tractive stuff. If you want to ride at 10 tenths, I think Rodney sort of covered off. You want to ride 10 tenths, it's great. But if you want to do 600-700 Ks in the day,
it's too harsh.
Yep.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, thanks, mate. Just catch up now. We're just going to find out Lincoln. I've got Lincoln here somewhere from Chris Watson Motorcycles, but I believe he's in the shower, so that'll be part 2, and Clay will join it together. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers, mate. So continuing with the suspension we were just talking about when we spoke with Joe, I've got Lincoln here from Chris Watson Motorcycles. Lincoln, Lincoln's a mechanic, does a heap of suspension work, does bits and pieces, but not so much the specialised stuff, do you really?
No, just the general stuff.
So you've ridden the tractive setups we had, the K-Tech stuff. You've ridden the Olin stuff briefly,
The
Andriani, and now you've just ridden. So the bike you're riding in the rally has the latest Technic stuff in it.
Yep.
You also rode mine, which has got the first of the Technic prototype, and you got P2. What's the difference?
P2 slowed the rear a bit.
Yeah, so I like a faster rebound. Yeah,
I like the slower, like a bit more controllable, I suppose. And it's just plush, super plush.
And Joe mentioned this, and what I'm finding is it's initially so plush, but when it does get to the end of the stroke, it doesn't go bang.
Yeah, so
and I have only found the end of the stroke a couple of times, but it doesn't go bang.
It's got that really supple stuff off the top, and then mid-stroke support's really strong, without having any deflection, and then it's hard to bottom. If you bottom it, you're already in trouble.
And I've actually backed the damper off on my bike in the last couple of days. I've noticed that too, so I haven't needed that. So yeah, it's been a big thing, eh?
Yeah.
It's been a long time coming.
Yeah, the rear feels a lot better than all the others, and the front, the plushness is better than everything else.
And tomorrow, you're going to have a ride. We've got Alan Rowe's bike here. So Alan, for those that know, won Fink in 88
Yeah, South 500.
on a CR500. So Alan's got a single disc setup and a high guard. And so we're going to talk about that briefly now. It's funny, I'd mentioned to Alan, when I met him down the high country, we had some deflection issues with the braking on a single disc. Alan said he hadn't mentioned it. We just had a joke about how it sort of lived in his head since, and he thinks he noticed it. But Alan's about Lincoln's weight. So tomorrow, you two are going to swap bikes. He's going to have a red hot crack on this one, and you're going to see, and I'm betting, being Andriani's, that we're going to pick up what we've picked up before. Now, he said it's harsher, and Joe rode this bike and said it's a lot harder, initially harsher, and you can ride a lot harder. It's probably set up to be something hard. And as Alan was saying, he hasn't ridden for a long time, and last time he was riding stuff in the desert at high speed, where that initial impact is a hard impact, and you're not getting an adventure bike. So we'll update that tomorrow, eh?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Looking forward to that. Rally's been good?
Yeah, been good so far.
All right. Just while you're here, I guess, coming from the Yamaha shop and having sold a heap of T7s, what have you, we had any issues?
Nothing.
Crash damage?
Crash damage is it. Anything, no warranties, anything like that. We had one bike turn up in the crate with the wrong coloured front wheel, but that was easy. New front rim, sorted, done.
So you're saying not a single warranty issue?
Nothing. Not one.
How many have you sold in the two
think
shops?
I've probably done 50 or 60. Done a lot.
Get that up, you KTM boys. All right, we're out. So to recap it, just remember we've got a full-length video coming with Technics with Nick and talking about all this. They're going to put this together as a kit as well. You can have them do it, or your suspension tuner will be able to buy a kit from Technics, and you'll be able to have this, or you'll be able to do it yourself if you're so inclined. See you later. Thanks for watching.